Hello and welcome to another video here on Theme Park Worldwide. Well, we're back here at Liseberg Amusement Park in Gothenburg, Sweden, and I'm joined by the one and only, back by popular demand, it's Pontus.
Hello
here
again.
from the park. It's fantastic to see you again.
Same to you.
And thank you very much for inviting me to come and see Halloween.
Well, welcome back, I would say. You'll notice that the park has really developed something completely different. We have pumpkins everywhere.
Everywhere. It looks amazing, and we've just walked down from the entrance, and I'm going to be doing a separate video all about all the decorations here at the park. There's the scare attractions, the scare zones, so make sure you check that out. Now, obviously, earlier in the year, back in April, Pontus took us for an amazing behind-the-scenes tour on Helix, of course, their Mack double launch coaster. We went behind the scenes on the Liseberg Bannon, and also on Balder as well.
Yeah.
And when I was last here, of course, the new ride for this year, Valkyria, I think I'm saying it right, Valkyria?
Valkyria.
Valkyria. My pronunciation is not very good at all, so Pontus will have to correct me on that one. But yeah, last time I was here, a lot of the track was in place, but of course the main element, the drop just behind, and the first inversion, the Immelman, weren't in place. And yeah, we go back to, it was August the ride opened to the public, wasn't it?
The 10th of August we opened.
10th of August.
And it's been almost 2 hours line every day since then.
It's been really popular, and of course,
Really popular.
it's great to actually see the ride running. I mean, when I was last here, like I say, the track wasn't finished yet. There were still details to finish with all the area around here, and it's just nice to see the trains going around, and of course hear the enjoyment, hear the screams. But yeah, I believe we're gonna have a little look around the station.
Yeah, it was so sad it wasn't finished when you visited last time, but that was a reason for you to come back.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
If it was finished, I probably wouldn't be here now to come and see Halloween.
Yeah. So now we're going to take a tour on Valkyria, so we're going to see the station and probably take some ride photos as well.
Yeah, that sounds great.
And then we have the scary attraction as well, because we are here at Halloween.
Halloween, right, let's go for it. Let's have a little walk around and head towards the attraction. So here we are then walking up the steps for my first ever ride, this will be, on Valkyria. Wow. It just feels so weird being here and seeing the finished product. Of course, the entrance sign up there at the top.
Yeah, so here are the throne, as you see in the text sheet. And for those of you that say that it's not good with the vests, this is the next generation, so there are elastics, so they will not get stuck on you.
That's good, because a lot of them tighten up, don't they? So that's really good.
Yeah.
Oh wow, the next generation there of B&M vest restraint, yeah, you can tell actually they feel very different. Fantastic. Thank you. Right then. Okay, so this is the garage of Valkyria. Oh wow. God, this is huge, isn't it?
It's huge and it's empty.
Wow, nobody in here. All for us. Wow, God, it smells really fresh in here as well. If only YouTube had like smelly vision, it smells really fresh.
If you compare with the other stations, it's not so much longer than the Liseberg station, but it feels longer because it's so
yeah, because it's thin. Yeah, it's certainly longer than. I mean, I've been in quite a few maintenance sheds for B&M dive coasters, and this is actually one of the biggest that I've been in. How many trains is there on the ride?
3.
3 trains, and will all 3 trains fit in here? Yeah. Wow. It's yeah, like you say, it's such a big space, isn't it? You wouldn't think this much room was needed for 3 trains, but wow. And obviously they've got the steps so they can get up there, and obviously they can work underneath here as well. I pointed out this last time when Pontus gave us a behind-the-scenes tour, but everything is so tidy and well-placed, everything's numbered on the wall. It's great how everything's looked after, and I've really noticed that about the park. Everything's done perfect, isn't it?
We're trying to.
It certainly comes across to me. Everything looks fantastic, it really does. So obviously, where did the trains come in then? So
coming here.
Yeah.
So when we got the trains, they came out from there, so we're picking up in the crane. And so if anything happens that we need to send them down to Switzerland or something, that is the way they will take. Otherwise we can have most of the reparations and so maintenance inside here.
Inside here, yeah, it's a great area, isn't it? Wow. Okay then, so we've been kindly invited into the operator's cabin here for Valkyria. And of course, here's a little look. Of course, you've got the operator chair just there as well with the controls built onto the side.
Yeah, and for those that likes these kind of chairs, they notice that it's exactly the same as Helix.
Yes.
Because we like it so much that we want it for the new coaster as well.
And it keeps the staff happy and comfortable.
It keeps the staff quite happy.
I mean, that chair looks really comfy. It looks
exactly.
very comfy.
It's operator chair. And I assume from your accent, are you from Australia?
I'm not from Australia. I'm from England.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah,
Sorry.
The amount of people that think that I'm from Australia, it's fine. Don't worry. I actually was chatting to someone in McDonald's this morning who thought I was from Australia. So there we go. But, so is there always two operators in here, or is there normally just one?
No, actually, my co-worker.
Yeah.
She's under education.
Okay.
That's why I'm here to
train her on the ride.
Yes, exactly. I'm here to if she has any question or.
Yeah. Obviously, there's a lot of people that watch my videos that have never even seen a console before, an operator's panel.
No, we have them all three now because the third one is on the drop.
Ah, okay.
It was my bad again. I thought they took in the storage.
Okay.
We have a lot of cameras, especially for the first hill and the drop.
Yes.
So we have 4 cameras for that, and that's quite unusual actually. We have so many cameras just for the first part.
But yeah, there's not really that many buttons at all, is there? When you look at compared to Liseberg Bannon, which has got a lot of buttons on, there's not that many on here, is there at all?
There's a lot of automatics here.
Yeah,
Here we have a little new routine at Liseberg.
Okay.
Because we decide where the guests are standing in line first. So first line, second line, or third line, and then they just go in and sit on their seats.
So is there a separate queue line for the rows?
Exactly.
That's good because it means people can decide.
When
doesn't it?
you almost done with the queuing, you have to choose like, do I want to sit in the front, or is it okay to sit in row 2 or 3? And then we have this director, or what you can call him, saying like, yeah, you going there, you going there. And then the express pass and single rider queue is like.
Oh, and there's a single rider.
Yeah, and that's also new.
That's a really good move. Yeah, hopefully, if it goes down well, would it maybe be considered for Helix? And
it could be considered, but as the station is at the moment. You can't really.
A redesign would have to be done, wouldn't it? Really.
Redesign it. So we will see in the future. Hopefully.
That's really good though that you've thought about that with the design of this ride and put a single rider line in, because that's a really positive step moving forwards, isn't it?
Yeah, and we will see how the guests reacts for it. For the moment, we have almost like 90% positive responses for it.
That's really good.
And then we have the others that don't really understand how it works, because it's not so usual in Sweden and north of Europe. It's more common in America and other parts of the world.
Yeah.
So the guests don't really know how to behave.
To understand it.
No,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, we have that back in the UK. We have groups that will join the single rider queue and complain when they get split up at the station. So it happens quite a lot. But there you go. Well, thank you very much for letting us in. Yeah, we really appreciate it. And keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. We will do that. Thank you that you came here.
Thank you. I'll go back to Australia.
Yes, exactly. Maybe the trip there is not bad. And I wish you all success with your channel.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
But now it's time to go. Take a ride.
Yes, our first time going. I can't believe that I've actually seen behind the scenes of the ride before going onto the ride. I think that's probably a first for me to actually come into the operator's cabin and the garage without actually going on the ride. So yeah, let's go and do it. My first ever time experiencing the new coaster here at Liseberg. Let's go. Oh, here we go. Climbing the lift hill, my first ever ride on Valkyria, and the sun is shining for it as well. Beautiful day today. Now I'm expecting some really good views up here at the top. And I'm on the front row. Of course, there's 3 rows on each train. The front left seat. So of course, there's going to be nothing under me whilst I'm going around the layout. Because the track's there in the middle and I'm sitting onto the left hand side of it. Wow, look at the views. And we go really fast around this top section. Oh wow, really quick round onto the holding brake. Look at that view of the park. Helix off to the left and oh wow, that is a cracking view. Oh yes. Whoa. Whoa. Straight through the mist there in the tunnel. Oh my god, it's intense. Woo. Wow. Oh wow. Oh wow, round into the brake run, so smooth. I tell you what, from a first ride on that is one of the most intense dive coasts that I've done actually. That was brilliant. And of course you get a great view of Baldo when you're coming back round here into the brake run. Wow, that was really, really good. Like I say, a lot of the newer B&M coasters normally don't really have that much force. And I also see what Pontus means about the vest harness on here as well. Wow, I'm actually in shock at quite how intense that was. Brilliant. Let's get off the ride and I'll talk more about it. Brilliant. So I've just come off my first ever ride on Valkyria, and you know what, I'm really impressed with that overall experience. Now before I talk about it, let me just first thank Pontus for an amazing behind the scenes tour there, taking me into the garage for the ride. Amazing just how clean it is. I said that about the other rides here when we did the behind the scenes tour in April. They keep everything so clean and tidy, and there's numbers on everything in place. I noticed there was some of the evacuation harnesses in there. Everything's numbered up, like with the size of them and everything. Really good. And of course we then moved up into the station itself and into the operator's cabin for the ride. And yeah, it was great to be in there, chat to the operator who thought I was Australian. That was quite funny, wasn't it? And I'm sure that's gone down well in the comments. I'm sure you love that. But yeah, of course, the ride itself. Now, of course, you go into the station building, you've got the projections on the side, there's the big torches sort of hanging down with all the fake fire effect in, and of course you sit onto one of the 3 rows. It's like we say, it's got the different rows what you can queue for. You can either wait longer for the front or rows 2 and 3. And then of course you get onto the ride. As soon as I actually fastened the restraint down and the vest harness, I noticed what Pontus was saying about them being a new generation of design. They felt really giving actually. And of course climbing up the lift hill, it's only actually 154 foot tall, and the drop itself is 164 foot because obviously that goes down underground. But yes, of course, it actually looks a lot higher when you're up there. It feels so high because you're looking out over the city. You've got Gothia Towers, the big hotel and conference centre. You can see all the other big buildings. Bear in mind, there's a big hill behind the park with buildings on, so actually it makes you feel a lot higher than you actually are. I felt just as high on there as I do on Valraven at Cedar Point or Shikra at Busch Gardens Tampa Bay. And of course, moving around from that point very quick, unlike Oblivion. Now obviously Oblivion has actually got a chain at the top, so it comes off the lift hill, connects onto another chain, what slows it down to build the anticipation. With this, it was straight round that top section onto the holding brake, and yeah, you didn't really have much time to think, but it held more on the drop itself, which I really liked, and I felt that really added to the experience. Of course, heading down the drop there, a huge vertical drop, and it's actually quite the hole that you're going into at the bottom. It's a small space around it, and so it's quite an enclosed experience. All the mist down at the bottom there, and yeah, like it looks brilliant. I can't wait to see it in the dark later on tonight, and of course tomorrow as well. But yeah, moving on from that, of course, up into the Immelman, got some really good force. That's the point where I thought, hang on a minute, it's actually quite an intense ride for a newer style B&M. And moving on from that, absolutely loved, because I was on the left front row seat. Of course, I was whipped up to the side when I went over the overbank there. Of course, carrying on the layout into a 0G roll, that was good fun. It took that with quite some speed. And then of course around the section here behind me, you've just seen the coaster and how quick it actually comes round this. Considering a lot of dive coasters would have maybe come to an end by now, Valkyria's got so much more to it. It comes around this section and then of course into the final inversion, the Heartline roll, which again, it takes at quite some speed. And there's a really good near miss element there with Mechanica, the Sierra Star shape located right next door. Here she comes again just behind me. amazing to see it running and hear the screams and the enjoyment that people are having on the ride, especially after coming here in April and just seeing it in construction and not being finished. It's great to see the ride complete. And then of course you come back round to the brake run. Overall, what an overall fantastic experience. Like, it's a great ride. I know a lot of you might be thinking, oh, it's just another dive coaster, but this to me is one of the best dive coasters out there. I'd probably say it's the best one in Europe in terms of the ride and the theming on it. Of course, Barron 1898 at Efteling's got more intense theming around the ride, but of course the ride itself for Barron isn't quite as on par as this. And obviously this is themed. It's not quite as heavily themed as Barron, but around it, it's got a lot of theming around the station and everything. So overall, taking the theming and the ride quality into it, I'd probably say this is my favourite dive coaster out there in Europe. Along with Oblivion the Black Hole at Gardaland, that's another good one. I tell you what, we've got some great dive coasters in Europe, but it's a first for Sweden, and I think it's a really good investment for the park. Now, of course, as I've mentioned, and Pontus mentioned, Halloween is huge here at the park. In fact, there's theming just here behind me, and there's a lot around the park. I am going to be filming my usual vlog out here, so make sure you check it out. It's coming up here on Theme Park Worldwide. Along with that, I'm also going to be meeting the CEO of Liseberg, Andreas Andersson. I'm filming a bit of an exclusive interview talking about the park, how it's developed, and also a little insight into the future here as well. So of course, make sure you check that out when it goes online here on the channel. A huge thank you to Liseberg for the behind the scenes tour and inviting me down. And of course, a big thank you to Pontus, as always, for an awesome behind the scenes tour. I look forward to seeing you again in the future. Thank you very much for watching another video here on Theme Park Worldwide. Check out our other videos here from Liseberg this Halloween, October 2018. And from me, Sean Sandbrook, that means it's time to cue those credits. See you later.
We'll be right back.